Hi, and thank you so much for tuning in for your September Written in the Stars Horoscope. I'm Madeline if we haven't met before, and if you're back, thank you so much. So, this month, astrologically speaking, we've got some pretty big shadow aspects to work with. Pluto, the planet of power and transformation, will finish up his retrograde this month, going direct on September 28th. So that means that this month, because he's the planet of, the underworld, of secrets, of death and rebirth, it's a perfect month to really think about uncovering and unpacking uncomfortable truths or things that you've been hiding from yourself, especially if they've been keeping you resistant to doing what you feel that you need to do, or that you've been kind of resisting a necessary evolution. Pluto is all about getting intimate with our fears and our desires, and he shows us that doing our shadow work really keeps us from doing shady work. So to hear more about what this Pluto direct aspect is doing for you, you can check out your horoscope on my blog, writteninthestars.co. So this month, as usual, I'll be doing your Horoscope, a story of your month, followed by a fiercely focused spread to give you some really concrete action steps to take to make the most of the month. I really appreciate you. I hope if you like this video that you will like it, and subscribe if you want more, and I hope that this gives you a really magical month and a beautifully resonant reading. Now, without further ado, on to your reading. Hey Taurus! I'm excited to see what is up for you in September. This is my absolute favorite season. I don't know how many of you out there probably, wow, also calling out for fall, but I always feel like, and it's funny because I was about to say, there is this melancholy aspect to fall if you're, in the northern hemisphere and we're moving into autumn here. It's very nostalgic, sort of. I don't know. Is that just me? Let's see. What does Taurus need to know? Some unseen... Wow. Unseen indeed. Wow. Good God. Okay. I don't know. If you haven't been here before, I say wow a lot. It's a thing. Some unseen blessing, as I was saying. And then here this guy comes, giving you a new cup that you don't see over your shoulder. Very interesting. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself, Taurus. I'm excited. Okay. Taurus. What does Taurus need to know in September 2017 for their highest good? Sun in Taurus, Taurus moon, and Taurus rising. What do they need to know in September for their highest good? Your highest good. Ha. And there you are, Taurus, sitting in your beautiful, bountiful garden with your big gold coin. Okay. Taurus. Taurus in September. What does Taurus need to know? Taurus. The back to school card. Appropriate. Taurus. Taurus. And one more for Taurus in September. All right. Okay. Wow. Okay, Taurus. So let's talk about the melancholy thing. September seems to maybe open up with or have just a little bit of initial concern over how things are turning out. I feel like, and of course these are general readings, Taurus, so some messages will resonate more than others, and if some don't resonate with you, that's totally okay. Those are for other Taurus. But I get a lot of messages, so please pay attention to those that really, really vibe with you, and then trust your own intuition to follow that. Okay, so they're talking about, for some of you, there's You know, Taurus, you are the builder. You're the architect of the zodiac. You are practical, you're pragmatic. You like to know how things are being set up, and you want them to look the way that they look in your mind. You know, you want your reality to be just so. And when I was meditating and praying on you before I turned on the camera to shuffle again, Spirit was using the phrase fixed and ferocious, because, you know, you're a fixed sign, for better and for worse. You know, you have stick-to-itiveness, you have determination and tenacity, but you can also be the most bullheaded, stubborn, annoying person to have a discussion or debate with, or you don't always accept input very well. And of course, again, some of you that does not apply to, but for some of you who that does ring a bell, or you've heard that from a loved one, there is a real opportunity in softening up and being open and vulnerable in September. I know the word vulnerable is loaded. There's this real connotation of, I mean, vulnerable literally means, I mean, like open to attack, right? That's kind of the way that most of us take it. But you have a beautiful card here, a few actually, for opening your heart and opening your mind, and that leading to beautiful new opportunities. Wow. Okay. So Spirit is saying there's an offer coming to you all. There's an offer, and it's not going to look exactly like the way, for many of you, the way that you wanted it. The way you have set it up is the way Spirit just said it. So, you know, you're an incredibly accomplished sign. When you set your sights on something, again, you're the builder. If it's at a great height, you will build the steps. You will build the ladder and scale it. And Spirit is definitely commending you. They're saying, like, finances are looking good this month for you all. Here you are, the Queen of Pentacles, and you can be a male Queen of Pentacles. The court cards have nothing to do with gender, have a lot more to do with age and personality type. And as the Queen of Pentacles, you are an accomplished creator. You're an accomplished and resourceful and nurturing, like you are a giver. And you're also, when I say creator, Spirit is showing me like you know how to generate money and resources. So some of you garden. You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, I may not make the most money at my job, but I come home and I grow all of this stuff so I don't have to buy it. I get it through my skills. Some of you side hustle. Finances are looking good, but it does demand that you open up. There is something very beautiful about having things turn out in a way that you weren't expecting. I'm feeling that for a lot of you there's potential for like promotion, or possibly the opportunity to at least start down that road. Like, okay, we want you to take this class, or, oh, I saw online this training opportunity, or that a class of this type of trade is starting up in a month. And if I start like registering now, I can get in and become part of this framework, part of this structure where I will learn. And I'm like, Spirit is showing me like a mason. So I feel like there's a very apprentice and master, teacher and student, mentor, mentee vibe here. Perhaps some of you want to get like a coach because you want to think outside the box and have somebody help you kind of put the steps in place to reach your goals. Like, oh, okay, I know what my goals are, but I need a little bit of help sorting out what those steps look like. You have, many of you, it's a literal trio. Like a literal trio of friends. I want to make sure you can see everything, and I feel like this is a little bit narrow for you. Okay, sorry for the earthquake, Taurus, but I want you to be able to see this stuff, like I said, so you can use your own intuition about it. Okay, so I feel like for some of you there's a literal trio of friends or siblings, sisters, that there's like a celebration coming up this month. There's like, we're gonna have a night where we just have some wine and we dance and we laugh. I'm feeling like there's celebration coming for some of you, and that this union, this group, these friends can help you kind of come out of your shell. Step out of the box. Particularly, you have someone in your life who you really respect their creativity. How dynamic, how intuitive, how passionate, how just like, it's like they've got creativity and charisma. And the other thing about the King of Wands is that he is a tremendous leader. You know, people respond naturally to the King of Wands' leadership. He doesn't have to, you know, talk a big game. He doesn't have to exercise incredible, scary discipline. It's by nature, he just exudes honor and dignity and know-how. Very dynamic figure in your life. So who is this for you, Taurus? And again, remember, this can be male or female. I'm just saying he because it's a king. But this is somebody at the top of their game when it comes to whatever they do. You know, I say creative, and I don't want you to think, okay, then that means that person has to like work in the arts or theater, or, you know, they're a writer only. Like, no, you can be a King of Wands and be like, you can code, or, you know, like, oh, I build websites for a living. Like, those things are extremely creative, and they're not necessarily like considered to be in the arts. So think big. Think this is a person who, by nature of their talents, they're kind of able to make their way in life. Like, that is their focus. That is their wheelhouse. That is what they're excellent at. Again, I'm feeling like that could be very related to the mentor-mentee relationship. Like, maybe you're going to have a consultation with this person, or again, you're enrolling in a course. Of course, it is September, so low-hanging fruit. Some of you may be literally going back to school this month. But again, for some of you, I feel like it's like you're going to a training or something. Sorry, I'm being obsessive about this now. Okay. There's also a real element here of, wow. There's a level and a feeling of assessment. Now, there's a difference between stopping in your tracks on the path and like stopping to assess where you are, how you're doing, check the compass, check the map, see what kind of time you're making, that kind of thing. That's what I'm feeling here, is don't be afraid to take a pause in September if you need to assess what's going on. Again, they're telling me like a lot of you are going to be consulting somebody, a professional of some kind in this regard. Counselor, teacher. Again, like I said, general readings, Taurus, I get a lot of messages. And if you do want to go deeper, my shop is linked below, as always, if you want to do a one-on-one. But what you can do regardless, if you ask somebody for help or not, breathe deep, clear your mind, get into your body. That's something you're really excellent at. For some of you, it's like you've been thinking about this and you've been feeling a lot of ways about it. You've been feeling very kind of stuck in a little bit of a rut about it, a little bit dejected or disappointed or just kind of disenchanted is kind of what I'm hearing. And there is joy and excitement and newness to be had in September. If you can give yourself a little bit of a breath, of leeway, of mental like white space, you know, if what Spirit is showing me, and it's so funny, this is just one way of showing how as often like esoteric or like out of reach and ethereal as we think of, like when I use the word spirit, maybe it sounds this way to some of you. Spirit has a very like clear and interesting and earthy way of reaching us in all sorts of ways, in symbol and in story, and even through literally like media, like the things that you see and listen to when you have a conundrum on your mind and you turn on the radio, and those it doesn't happen every time, but there are those moments where you just feel like, whoa, it almost feels as if that song is like meant to play for me right in this moment because I was thinking about X situation or X person or X, you know, circumstance, and here come these lyrics that seem like exactly the answer or what I needed to hear or a moment of support. Take that for exactly what it is, which is that. Spirit is always trying to communicate with us. And they want to communicate with you in September, and they need a little bit of room to do that. And the reason I laughed in the first place and wanted to mention how Spirit can speak in symbols to us, what they were showing me is like a whiteboard. Like I'm picturing like one of those giant, like, you know, it's maybe like 30 feet, like 30 by 20, big old college like whiteboard. And it's just filled with like scribble. It's filled with like formulas and reminders and notes and times and words and numbers and graphs. Just filled like a mess, a big scrawly mess. And can you imagine the satisfaction of just a godly hand just wiping it completely clean, like just tabula rasa, you know what I mean? Clean slate and completely white and open, and whatever is going to come has a space to go. It has, you know, inspiration, and a eureka moment has a place where you can create it, rather than, oh my God, there's not even room for another thought because all of these are knocking around in my head and I feel completely stuck. So ironically, getting unstuck isn't going to be like, I'm going to think my way into a solution. It's like they said in the beginning, it's kind of like open up and relax. And ironically, that's when things are going to start to fall into place and make sense for many of you. Luckily, a lot of you have a really wonderful partner. And that could be love, that could be in your business or in creativity. So see where it resonates for you. The person who really sees you for what you bring to the table. I feel that for some of you it's this mentor, this King of Wands person. There's a real harmony there and a mutual respect, and even further a mutual admiration. So there's affection there, and there's a lot of potential there. The Two of Cups is like the beginning of a beautiful friendship, literally. So you don't know everything. Maybe you've only just been introduced, but it feels like, wow, there's something here. There's chemistry here. And that doesn't, again, necessarily have to be like a sexual or romantic type of chemistry. Just like, huh, we've got a vibe. We're vibing. We can go back and forth. We've got a rapport. I feel that, yeah, some of you are making Spirit just use the phrase divine connections in September, and that's in relationships and partnerships, friendships, as well as those eureka moments, those answers that some of you are looking for that are going to look a little different than you thought. Give yourself that mental white space. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at your fiercely focused spread. Your pragmatic self, I'm sure, can get behind a step-by-step process to have a better month, right? Okay, so if you haven't been here before, Taurus, this is where I take 5 cards and do a quick read on the theme of your month, as well as what's going on in the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual realms, or we could say like your health and money, your emotions, your mind, and your creative and like spiritual aspirations. Sorry, Spirit's like talking. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. So Taurus, what Spirit wants you to most think about and embody in the month of September is balance, nourishment. Like they said, you know, the way they want you to kind of make mental white space. It's like you've done so much scribbling, and that's why there's a need to kind of move to the other end. Like, okay, I've done a lot of this, and I need to do some of this. Like, And for some of you, literally, it is like you need to really hydrate and look at what you're eating, because you are what you eat, as they say. Like, literally, you know, your body can only create more of what you're putting into it. So be sure that you're doing things like listening to your body. If you're hungry, eat. If you're full, stop. Drink more water. You know, be aware of how much you sleep, when you wake up, the timing. Spirit really wants you to think about, it's like when you, like they said about getting into your body and getting out of your head a little bit. Taking care of yourself is a big part of that. Spirit is actually showing me, like, for some of you, that's like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna take that yoga class, or I'm gonna take a nap. I am exhausted, and I'm not usually a nap taker, but I'm gonna stop right now because I'm just sitting here, I'm staring at the screen or at this work that I'm trying to do, and I just can't even right now. So, you know what? I'm gonna say, okay, I'm setting my alarm for an hour from now, and I'm gonna just lay here. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna listen to my body, and that's what it's saying. That's gonna take you a long way this month. For some of you, it is like literally temperance, as in don't overindulge. Be careful. That doesn't mean don't do anything at all, but it means, you know, don't go overboard. Don't eat so much that you don't fit in your pants the next day and you feel terrible, and don't drink so much that, you know, you say something you don't want to say or miss out on something that you really wanted to be fully present for. September, again, remember, is about making a clean slate for yourself and opening yourself up to what is best for you. And you can really do that by, first of all, setting up your body, your physical body, to be fully present, energetic, ready, healthy. And on that note, let's look at what Spirit does have to say specifically as far as steps you should take or things you should notice when it comes to your body, your money, your resources, the earthy, physical aspect of your life in September. Taurus in September. Beautiful. Wow. Queen of Pentacles and then King of Pentacles. Lordy, Taurus. Okay, so be a boss. Be a boss. Yes, this is what you are. Don't feel as though, again, that being open and being vulnerable and sharing the burden with other people in any way diminishes your authority or your leadership. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. It bolsters your reputation, it bolsters your money, it serves you to be a benevolent leader and a calm and collected, like, leader of the pack. This is a great card for your finances as well. So money in September looks fabulous. Authority, being calm. The one thing I would say with the King of Pentacles is along the same lines of the rest of your reading, of just be sure that you're not so rigid. You know, you're great at what you do. And like they said, being open and receptive to the opinions of others with other types of insight and gifts can only enhance you and your leadership. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at what's going on in your mind. What are you thinking, Taurus? What are you saying? What's going through you? September. What are you hearing? What are you speaking? What's on your mind? Clarity! What a beautiful card to see, especially after all that talk about, like, needing white space. This is the card of clearing things up. For some of you, Spirit is saying, like, you have been needing to have this conversation, and it's time to have it. It's time to be clear and open and direct. Clear the air is the phrase that they're using for some of you, because that's going to help clear your mind. So if you have something to say, even if it's a little uncomfortable, just speak your truth. Don't hold back. Again, it doesn't mean say whatever's on your mind, but if there's some truth that's been swept under the rug, like I was talking about with Pluto, that's a real theme this month, is okay, hey, why don't we just clear this up now so that we can move forward? We all want the best for this family or this company or this relationship. So it's in our best interest to go ahead and look at this. Like we were saying, act like a boss. Like, I'm going to say this. I'm going to take the lead. I'll take initiative. Okay. So now let's look at what's going on emotionally. What's in your heart in September, Taurus? What are you feeling, Taurus? Your highest good. What's Taurus need to know? A lovely message coming in. For some of you, this is like a son or daughter, a younger family member or friend, or it can be just somebody who appears very youthful. You know, they may not be many, many years chronologically younger, but I feel for a lot of you it is a family member. And this person is very lighthearted. This person is very surprising and sweet. It may even be like a child. I feel like some of you are getting maybe like a card or like a little video message from someone that you've been thinking about or missing. That's very specific, but that's definitely there for some of you. And for others of you, it's just like this person is another sign that when your heart is open and when you're willing to see possibilities and entertain alternate routes and chances, you're going to be directed. You're going to get the messengers and the messages that you need to take you in the right direction. Open heart. You're grounded, but with an open heart. Besides, Taurus, it's like you got the grounded thing down. So opening your heart is not going to suddenly untether you from the earth. Listening to your intuition is only going to make you fuller and even more grounded and secure. Okay. And finally, let's see, speaking of intuition, what is going on with your intuition, your fiery aspect, the spiritual, the creative, when it comes to your gifts. What does Taurus need to know for their highest good? Need to know or do for their highest good. Beautiful. Victory. Victory. I love that, especially after all that stuff about like, ugh, like there's fear of disappointment. There's like, oh my God, this isn't how it was supposed to be. Why does it look like this instead? And here you have victory, a win, public accolades, public proof for some of you of the hard work that you've been doing. Some of you are getting married. That's what they said. Like some of you are like, that's the, you know, the accolades. That's the people standing up and cheering for you. And this next chapter, this next accomplishment and phase of your life. And some of you, it's like, okay, I got the promotion, or this project is done, or I finally did it. I finally got that certification, or I got into this program. So definitely celebrate your wins. You did have that card of celebrating with friends or siblings or like those friends though so close they seem like family. So for some of you, that's very related to this, like, hey, let's get together and have a drink because XYZ happened for me and it's just amazing. This is a really beautiful spread, Taurus. I'm excited for you. So please let me know, how is your September and is this resonating for you? I really appreciate you listening, Taurus, and as always, I hope that you have a wonderful month and I hope to see you again in magical October. Bye-bye.